This is our third episode that fuses Italian cooking with Mexican cooking. We've done taco pizza. We've done Italian chili rellenos, and they both came out amazing. This one today will do the same. Stay tuned. Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. As I said before, it's another fusion episode. What are we going to do? Meatballs. Enchiladas. Enchilada meatballs. The very first thing we need to do is make cornbread. I know, crazy, right? But we're going to do it. My oven is preheated to 375 right now. We're going to get our pan sprayed. We're going to get our cornbread mixed together in accordance with the instructions on the package, which for this one is contents of package. And a cup and a half of agua. Remember, this is a fusion of Italian and Mexican. We're going to get that mixed up. We're going to put it in our pan. We're going to chuck it in a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. As that's happening, we'll get on with the next step, getting the sauce ready. All right, oven's at temp, so the cornbread goes in. And we start working on that sauce. Now, this is an opportunity. So, guajillo peppers. Basically, there's a couple different ways you can prepare them. You can either de-seed them, de-stem them, and then rehydrate them like we're going to do today, or you can de-stem them, de-seed them, and then toast them. If you were going to toast them, you want only the prettiest, straightest, flattest peppers, so you can just cut along a seam, fold that thing out, and you'll have less things to turn over as you're toasting them. Makes life much easier. Since we're not doing that today, we want to get the gnarly, the ugly, the crooked peppers that make that much harder, because today it doesn't matter. If this pepper ends up in the bowl to rehydrate in 76 pieces, so be it. But if you end up with 76 pieces of a pepper you want to toast, that's 76 flips you have to do. That's a pain in the ass. So we're going to get our ugly, unwanted, crooked peppers. We're going to get them de-seeded, de-veined, and then stuck in some water to rehydrate. I do have a trash can right here. I'm just not chucking these on the floor, really. All right, got that done. Now, all those pepper pieces go into a bowl. In that bowl goes some very hot agua. Remember, this is for enchiladas. Get enough to get them covered there, and then put a dish on top of them to keep those puppies submerged. There we go. Now we're gonna let those set for about the same time it takes our cornbread to get done. Then we'll move on to the next step. See you then. All right, cornbread has about 15 minutes left on it. That means my peppers have been soaking for about 15 minutes. That's long enough. All right, so we're going to fish the guajillos out of the water because we don't need that water. It tends to be a little bitter, so that's why you don't normally use that. We're going to leave that behind. Peppers go in the Vitamix. Along with those peppers go half of a large onion. You just need to roughly chop it because, like I said, it's a Vitamix. Oh, anywhere between 4 to 27 cloves of garlic. We really like our garlic. We go on the heavy side. Okay, now, the recipe says 2 cups of chicken broth, and I put that there because I'm not sure about the national availability or international of this chipotle broth that Better Than Bouillon makes. So I'm going to use the chipotle broth instead. Now, normally you would get some hot water, you dissolve this in there. It's all going in a Vitamix, right? So I'm just going to put the scoop that I would put in the water straight into the Vitamix, and then we'll add the water. We need about a teaspoon of ground cumin, and then half a can of chipotles. Don't be afraid, it's not going to be too hot, though there are certain brands of chipotles, if you buy them out there in the can, you'll see a little hot symbol on it. Those you don't want, those are certainly hot. If you don't see that hot symbol, you're probably okay. That's why I try and stick with the same brand, because I know what the heat level is. All right, so I'm going to take half of this can, get that added. Now we mix it up, and then we're going to let that set until we're ready to do the next steps, which for me is about an hour and a half. All right, sauce is all blended up. Now we're just gonna let that set and those flavors to meld together. You can put it in the fridge if you want. You don't really need to. There's nothing in there that has to be refrigerated. And yeah, we'll see when that cornbread's done and we're ready to make those meatballs. Cornbread has been cooling for quite a while, so now we're good to go to make the meatballs. Because you gotta say it that way. At least I do. Okay, so we're gonna take our cornbread, the whole shebang, chuck it in a big bowl, then we're going to crumble it. This is basically the breading for a normal bunch of meatballs. So instead of using some Italian bread or something like that, Italian bread crumbs, we're using cornbread. A 12-ounce package worth. You want to get these crumbled pretty fine because you want your balls to be homogeneous and you don't want any big chunks of one certain ingredient in there. All right, I'm pretty happy with that crumbling. Now we're going to add 2 pounds of ground beef. Of course, we're going to add our aged ground beef. You can use regular ground beef if you wish. We're also going to add about a tablespoon of taco seasoning. We love Cattleman's Mexicano. Actually, 2 tablespoons, a tablespoon per pound. And 2 cackleberries, or about, I don't know, $6, $7 worth. Unless I've hosed it up, the last piece of the puzzle is about 1.5 cups of the enchilada sauce we made. Now, if you don't want to go to the trouble of making your own enchilada sauce, you can buy it. You'll probably need about 3 10-ounce containers, so about 30 ounces total. Yeah, this came out to about 5 cups, so we have about that much here. Oh, that rich deliciousness. Mmm. All right, there's our 1.5 cups. All right, now the fun part. We're going to mix all that together and then make about 1 inch to 1.5 inch diameter meatballs. We're going to put them on a baking sheet with a rack. So when they're cooking, we're going to brown them. We're not going to fully cook them, but as we brown them, we don't want them sitting in their juices, right? And getting all soft and mushy on the bottom. Mix it all together and roll it up. All right, about the time that you don't see any more yellow from the cornbread, it's time to start making the meatballs. That mixture yielded 34 meatballs. They're a little bit bigger than a golf ball, a little bit smaller than a racquetball, so there we go. We're going to chuck these in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 to 12 minutes, and I'm going to go for the 12, get them just a little bit browned. They still have another cooking step to go, so don't worry if they don't fully get done. They won't. That's just fine. The meatballs have been in the oven for about 12 minutes, so let's get those out and get to the last cooking step. Oh, they are smelling amazeballs. So we're going to take all of our meatballs now and chuck them into a crock pot. We're going to have these for dinner, but I'll tell you what, this would be a fantastic snack for parties or something to take potluck. Last step is we're going to put together the sauce that the meatballs are going to cook in. So into a bowl goes the rest of our enchilada sauce. We're going to add to that a 12 or, hey, what the heck, 16-ounce jar of salsa. I am using some flame-roasted chili, hatch green chili salsa. Now, you can control the heat here, put the hot stuff in if you want. I'm going with medium. To that, we're going to add another couple tablespoons of our taco seasoning. About 4 ounces of diced fire-roasted hatch green chilies. That's about 1/2 cup. We'll eyeball it. We're good there. And there's somewhere between a 1/2 cup and a cup of your favorite shredded Mexican cheese. I'm going to mix all that up. All right, looking good and homogeneous. Give that a quick taste. Oh, damn. That's good. Now this goes on top of your meatballs. And then we're going to put another 1/2 cup to a cup of our cheese on top. I'm saving some back to have with the finished product. Now we're going to go ahead and turn that on, set it on low heat, and let it go for 3 or 4 hours, however long you need. You got less time, buck it up to high or so. But we're going to go nice and low and slow. And there we go. So we'll see you in about 4 hours and find out how damn good this is. See you then. Alrighty, they're done. These are best served with tortillas and all the fixins. You got the diced tomatoes, the shredded lettuce, cheese. Let's give this a try. Actually, let's try a fork, because I've already enchiladed myself. All right. So, survey says, with that cornbread incorporated into the meatballs, it no shit tastes like an enchilada. That's damn good. You're going to want to give this a try. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, never miss an episode. Until we see you next time, fair winds and following seas.